Skyrim Anniversary Edition came out, and with that, there was a lot of Creation Club stuff that came out for free. And one of those things that was for free was Survival Mode. And I've been replaying Skyrim on Survival Mode, and honestly, it's pretty underwhelming. Like, they add, sure, a hunger meter, tired meter, and a warmth meter. I shouldn't even say they're meters. They have like little red bars around your health, stamina, and magicka. Like if you're tired, it adds a red bar to your stamina, so it takes a little bit away from your stamina. And I mean, when you're hungry, it takes away from your stamina. When you're tired, it takes away from your magicka. And when you're cold, it takes away from your health. And honestly, in my opinion, that it isn't too deep. Like you have to make sure to keep warm, keep all that shit. And but there isn't like you only have to eat. You don't have to drink. You don't become thirsty. You only become hungry. And some of it's just as simple as like if you're too cold, just find a warm place, wait by a fire. That's it. Or eat some warm food. It isn't anything really deep. Not anything you need to stop and think about. And it's it's kind of boring, and it can even be a bit more boring because they remove fast travel, which sure it adds a little bit more to the immersion or whatever, because it kind of adds the survival aspect of not being able to fast travel, but also Skyrim's a really big place, so they do allow you to use carriages, and once you get the dragon, what is it? God damn it. Whatever the fuck the shout's called that allows you to control dragons, and you can fast travel that way, but there is a lot of times you'll be walking a lot, and depending on who you are, that can just be a complete turn off, Not having a fast travel in Skyrim is immediate. Yeah, I'm not trying this, but I know the world well enough. I know how to like move through it and everything. But the thing I did like not having fast travel is I was discovering more stuff. I was stopping, churning to a cave or something because I don't know, maybe I was a little tired or something, or I was a little hungry, or I was a little cold. I'd churn into a place to see if they had food, a bed, or something. And I think a good example would be, I saw a cabin, churned into it, found a mage, and I was like, well, shit, I guess I can just steal some food from her. And I remember I found an attic, and I went to the attic and proceeded to find out that this little elf old lady mage was actually a necromancer, and she proceeded to attack me when I got out of the attic. It was pretty funny, It was little stuff like that I was noticing, and it was really cool to, instead of just fast traveling between point A and point B, it was really cool to have to figure out ways to get to places. Like I guess like if there was some place near Solitude, I'd pair a carriage to go to Solitude and then follow the roads to that place, or up a mountain a different place, and it was really cool. And also you did feel an attachment to your horse a bit more than in the regular game, because you use that horse a lot. So when a horse dies, it's like, ah, shit, it's not whatever, fast travel back to this place. And it is a damn, I'm walking now. And other than that, like I said, if no fast travel is a complete turn off for you, yeah, you're not going to be trying this mode out. And another thing they kind of add is no regenerating health. It's not a big deal. Like I said, survival mode. That's kind of what you expect, but there are ways to circumvent this. Like there's the Lady Shrine and other shit like that, where you can kind of, like I said, circumvent this. You can kind of cheat past this, where you don't have to worry about that. And most of the time in Skyrim, there are lots of potions out there. So as long as you remember to heal yourself, it's kind of not really something you're gonna remember. Same thing with diseases. Like diseases are supposed to be more effective. I didn't really notice it, honestly. I just I'd go to a shrine and get cured. But I guess that's another thing with shrines is they don't cure you for free. You have to have an offering, which I honestly like that. I think that's pretty cool. You have to have an offering of 100 gold, and I thought that was cool. That was like one thing I do have to compliment. That's pretty cool. But it was also a little, kind of not really. How do I put it? I don't think that having them just heal all diseases immediately was a little, just $100 to do that. But at the same time, I would find myself actually buying cure potions, so I wouldn't, because I couldn't fast travel to cities to get a shrine, so I would buy cure disease potions and shit like that. But I felt like they could have done a bit more, like, well, you have this certain disease, you got to go to a priest, or you got to go to, I don't know, you got to go to someone else, not just drink a cure potion or pay 100 gold at a shrine. They could have done more with that. And another thing they could have done a lot more with was different races. Like, they could have, some races bit more can stay awake a bit longer and stuff like that. Like, they could have done more. But that's basically what you get. Is this race has less fatigue, or this race can, I don't know, like, Nords are resistant to cold. There's an example. Like, Nords can be in the cold more, and elves have better, they keep more awake. Whatever the fuck I said before. But they're just, it's just passive, like, not really important stuff. Like, I think a good example would be, like, why not something with the Argonians where they have a weakness to cold? Like, I don't know, how about something like orcs or get more hungry or stuff like that? And there's the thing, the only one that really happened with was Argonians, where they have, like, a cripple to their cold. That's it. Why not, like I said, why not with orcs? They have to eat a bit more, or with Nords, I don't know, they have a weakness to something. I don't know. As soon as they get a disease, it affects them more. Something like that. It just seems like they did passive stuff, and in my opinion, it's kind of stupid to play as an Argonian knowing they have a weakness to cold. Like, why would you play as an Argonian? Because they're kind of fucked. You cripple the Argonians. Why not cripple the other races in certain ways? And it just doesn't feel as in depth as they could have gone. And this isn't like, I understand this isn't like something that was meant to be like a new mode added by Bethesda. It's a creation club thing. Creation club's fucking stupid, and it just feels lacking, And another thing they actually remove is your carrying capacity is very reduced. You have a very reduced carrying capacity. I think it's 150 carrying capacity. If I'm correct. It's not a lot, and I did like that, it did. I'd find myself deciding, you know what, I don't want this. I decided actually for this playthrough, I'm usually a short sword and shield guy. I'm usually a shield guy. I just like having shield. I'll use maces, axes, whatever, I really like having a shield with me. But I decided this playthrough that shield was just, wasting carrying capacity, and that I'd actually be more of a mage. So I did like having to think, you know what, this isn't worth keeping around. Like, there'd be certain things, like, I usually would have random, blacksmithing stuff on me, like ingots, I'm saying that right. What? I think I said that wrong. Whatever. But, I'd have iron and steel and all this other shit just, in my fucking inventory because, I'd have enough inventory. But now I'm morally, I'm like, well, I shouldn't be carrying those with me, so I did find myself blacksmithing a little less, but I also found myself kind of enjoying that thought of, I shouldn't be carrying stupid shit with me. I should be carrying the basics with me. And I wish it did more like that, and it like I said, it feels very lacking, and it's kind of sad, like it's kind of sad that Bethesda didn't take a more Fallout. And sure, the Fallout survival mode isn't the best, but it's better than here. At least you got an H2O and a hunger meter, And I get that'd be adding in, you'd probably have to add in jugs of water, or jugs of milk, or something, like that. And they already have jugs of milk, but they probably have to add more of that throughout. But what's the big deal, And another problem I actually did have is I found myself cooking a lot more because my hunger meter. And I go into a shop because salt is one of the main ingredients you need for a majority of dishes. Salt and butter. And they wouldn't have them. They would not have salt or butter. Like, I'd go into a shop and they'd have, I don't know, 2 butters and 1 salt. And it's like, well, I have all these ingredients with all this other shit. And I can only make like 2 or 3 fucking cooked meats. And it's like, oh, come on. it was dumb to go to a shop and only be able to buy one salt, and then go outside that shop, go into a barrel, and there'd be 5 salts. Like, why not, like, add, because it's in survival mode, like, here's more salts, here's more butters, here's more jugs of milk. That was another thing for cooking. There's some that had, jugs of milk, and they just didn't add those things, which it was, like I said, lacking in my opinion. Like, something Bethesda didn't, I guess the author of this, really, we don't have the name of who did this, Creation Club mod thing, what the fuck ever you call it, DLC? It's stupid, and, it's just, it just feels lacking, it feels like there's some stuff you could have added a bit more. And another problem I had with some of the glitches was, there was horses. Like I said, I had a horse die on me. I was climbing up a mountain like an idiot, and proceeded to fall off that mountain. Horse died. I was pissed. I was like, fuck, shit. So I go to Riften, and I buy a new horse. So I travel back to Whiterun, and my horse was alive again. And I was very confused. I was like, what the fuck? The horse should be dead. And that was weird. Another glitch is they disabled fast travel, but if you, after getting out of a carriage, if you immediately open up your map, sometimes, this has worked for me I think once, but sometimes you can fast travel. You just fast travel to a place, and that's pretty funny. Like that's a funny glitch you can do. And another one was, this one actually pissed me off. I would, sometimes that I would have a carrying capacity buff. Like, having one of the Dragon Masks actually has you have 20 extra carrying capacity, and I think it's one of Thieves Guild armor? Yeah, one piece of Thieves Guild armor, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. Has a carrying capacity thing to it, and sometimes the game would forget that I had that extra carrying capacity, and my character would be carrying a little more than the default carrying capacity, and the game would decide, well, that means you're carrying, you're over encumbered. And it's like, no, I'm not. I have these carrying capacity buffs. What the fuck? And, I'd have to open up, go into the inventory, and basically confirm to the game, no, see, my carrying capacity is at 205. This is at like 170 or something, shit like that. And then the game would, like, fix itself, and it's like, what the fuck, And other than that, it's like I said, it's underwhelming, but it didn't have that many issues, and it's not something I recommend for somebody who, let's say, it's first time playing Skyrim. This isn't gonna make you, like, love Skyrim, and actually might make you not like Skyrim. But it's meant for people who've beaten the game, at least more than once, more than twice, But like, if you're somebody who's beaten Skyrim multiple times, you could. I wouldn't say this is something you could just immediately jump in and make it feels fresh to you, because to me it felt like basic Skyrim, just where I had to look after a health and a stamina and all this other shit, it didn't really matter, it didn't really make me go, oh wow, this genuinely feels like a new experience. It did not at all. And another thing I want to point out is when this was originally, before it was free, on the Creation Club, was 500 Creation Club points, or whatever the fuck it's called. And so on PlayStation, the cheapest you can buy is 750 Creation Club points, and that's $8.99. And plus tax, it's probably around $8 fucking dollars. I would never pay $8 to play this. Let's be honest here, like, sure, you can. Oh, but it's actually $5. No. Like, if you're on PlayStation, the minimum you could buy is $8. So if you wanted this mode before it was free, you'd have had to pay around $8 fucking dollars for a mode. Like, what the fuck? That's another reason I don't like Creation Club. It's stupid as hell. But anyways, I just want to leave it on that. Is this isn't, if you want to try this out, it can be fun. It can be really fun to just dive into Skyrim a bit differently. Some new kind of mode. But this isn't something that's gonna, like, if you're bored of Skyrim, I don't think this is gonna make you go, wow, this is a completely new experience. It's really not. It's underwhelming. It's kind of boring. But I liked it, even though it was underwhelming. I liked it. But I don't recommend it.